In Dragon's Dogma 2, the cycle of dragon and arisen has existed since time immemorial. The history of both beastren and man has recorded countless battles between the Avatar of Destruction and the embodiment of Great Will. However, each and every one of these epic clashes have only ever resulted in one of two possibilities. The dragon either defeats its chosen combatant or it is slain by the arisen. Regardless of the outcome, the cycle is bound to repeat itself indefinitely for all eternity. But what if the cycle was broken? What impact would it have on the world as we know it? But before we explore the secrets of the unmoored world, it's time to give credit where it's due. Kudos to 0 Omega VG8NQ for locating the Easter egg in the previous thumbnail. If you look closely, you'll see a wake stone on the knight's hip. If you're new to the channel, I've started playing a game with viewers where I hide an Easter egg in the thumbnail of each of my videos. The first person to state what and where it is in the comments gets a shout out in the following video. Now, back to the matter at hand. After the dragon's defeat by the hands of the arisen, it was time for celebration. The hero of this age was to be honored with the title of sovereign and rule over the kingdom for the rest of his mortal days. At least that's how it was written. Any arisen observant enough to notice a strange presence at the coronation was sure to discover something was amiss. After confronting the enigmatic Pathfinder, the arisen was given another chance to relive his encounter with the mighty dragon, for his will alone was enough to alter the course of fate. Before sending him on his way to reaffirm his decision, the Pathfinder warned the arisen of the greater will, a godlike presence that was responsible for all creation and reality itself. Through his own eyes, the arisen was determined to see the truth, but this time he would not slay the dragon, but rather turn the God's Bane blade on himself. As the blade of unparalleled power pierced his heart, the duo connected by fate fell from the sky into the depths of the abyss. The brine took hold, and the arisen was pulled into a new plane of existence. The ubiquitous Pathfinder was awaiting his arrival and scolded him for straying from his fate. The arisen was given a final opportunity to return home, but stubbornly refused the offer. The world around him seemed to swallow him whole, and when he came to, he found himself in the unmoored world, a place best characterized by oblivion. The word unmoored means lacking contact with reality, a fitting title for a land that seemed unrecognizable. The Pathfinder explained that the arisen's choices had left the world in ruins and that his true purpose was to deliver it from extinction. He urged the failed hero to explore the wastelands before the world ceased to exist. The first task at hand was to find his loyal pawn, so he traveled to the Forbidden Magic Research Lab in search of answers. There, he found Lord Phasis, who had kept the pawn under his care for the last few weeks. From the moment the arisen plunged the God's Bane blade in his own heart and fell into the ocean, a full month had passed by, and strange beacons had appeared all around the major nations of Vermund and Batal. As if on cue, a new beacon emerged from the sky outside the Flamebearer's palace and summoned a dragon statue. Every major location that was unfortunate enough to experience this phenomenon had been completely decimated by incredibly powerful dragons that were infused with the brine. As agents of the greater will, their sole purpose was to eradicate every shred of life until the red mist consumed the world, erasing it from existence in the process. The arisen decided to investigate a unique blue beacon located near the seafloor shrine. When he arrived, he saw the mad sovereign Rotheus, who explained how he earned his moniker. During his reign as the arisen, he slayed the dragon and went on to conquer the world. But after achieving these seemingly insurmountable goals, he realized that he was simply a puppet playing his part. His role had been carefully written out and executed to a T. The author of his tale was none other than the ever-watchful Pathfinder. Once Rotheus discovered his existence, he killed anyone he suspected was an agent of the Watching One. Sadly, this was nearly everyone who came in sight, and as such, his rulership would always be marred by its tragic end. The truth had finally been set free. The cycle of the dragon and the arisen was simply a form of entertainment for a deific force that had grown tired of watching worlds crumble into oblivion. The Dragon's Dogma was created to empower the people with the false illusion of free will. Each and every living being had a role to play in the story of the arisen and the dragon, and each story was unique from the last, save the important bits of course. As with all game masters, the Pathfinder couldn't help but play a small role himself as ever the mysterious cloaked figure whose guiding hand would ensure that everything went as it was written. With his last bit of strength, Rotheus summoned the 3 former Arisen who roamed the lands and invited the current Arisen to evacuate the people to this sanctuary. With great haste, the Arisen visited each of the allies he made during his journey and guided the people to safety. Along the way, he made sure to dispatch all the nightmarish creatures the Brine had created. As each of the monstrosities fell, the red mist was held at bay a little longer. Eventually, a final beacon emerged, and the Pathfinder's true form was known. He was the Worldforged, a dragon with unmatched power. The Arisen's pawn succumbed to the dark forces of this world, transformed into a shadowy creature, and turned on her master. However, inspired by the Arisen, she too had gained a will of her own, and her sole desire was to aid the Arisen until the very end. She crashed into the Pathfinder and forced him to plummet from the sky. As he fell, his heart was made vulnerable, and the Arisen seized the opportunity to plunge the Godsbane blade into its final resting place. As the sword fulfilled its purpose, oblivion started to fade. The tale the Pathfinder had penned was unwritten, and the Pathfinder himself was no more. Free from the puppet strings, the people would live their lives to their fullest, but the one man who could forget nothing went on in search of new worlds. The Rivage Elder was not simply a weaver of tales, but rather the only person in all of the land to realize the truth. With the seas rid of the brine at last, he was free to brave the ocean and whatever awaited him on the other side of the horizon. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know you want more content just like this. Click on these videos on screen to continue your journey through the world of Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'll be there to guide you when you arrive. Consider becoming a member for exclusive perks like emojis, members-only videos, and more. Or check out my Ko-fi page if you want to support me in a more personal way. Until next time, it's the Inhuman One, signing out. Join the Inhuman community today.